Welcome to One on One. I'm Greg Bassett, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. It's a big day here at PAC 14. We're continuing our election interviews, and today we've got one of the big fish in the house, County Executive Candidate Ernest Davis Jr. Welcome, sir.
Welcome. Thank you.
So you've done 8 years on the county council, and you want to be county executive.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do?
Well, from right off the bat, we're going to have to fill the vacancies that we got in the county government. So we have to fill those and plus satisfy those employees so we can stop them from leaving the government. We can't function if we don't have people in place to run the government itself. So that'd be our first goal, to make sure we maintain what we got, because we got a good workforce that we have, and make sure we keep them so they don't keep drifting away from us.
Yeah, so we have a lot of open positions because of pay issues and how things have changed, just the job markets. But it's particularly troubling in the roads department and in some of the higher administration positions.
Yes, we've been without a public works director for several years, and that, in particular, we need to fulfill that, because that needs to be an engineer, because we got a lot of road projects and stuff that are on the wayside because we don't have a person in position to do that. So that position, and of course with this new, everybody, we're talking about the water and sewer, we're going to have to implement and develop a department and get a director so we can get this plan going, and somebody that can orchestrate it. It's not a job of the executive to sit there and orchestrate it. That's why you have directors, and get someone in a position that knows what's going on and can do it.
You've helped identify the water and sewer issue as being an important issue, and like you said, you would create a Department of Sanitation. Tell me how that would work.
Well, just like any other department, they would come on board and they would look at the master plan that we have and sit down with the state, who really going to coordinate this thing, and see what we can and where we need to start with this thing. I'm looking at, if this happens, we're going to have to start from the beginning, because I think there's a lot of stuff that's happened that shouldn't have happened before the thing take off. And of course, one of the main things is we're going to have to talk to municipalities, see what they will and will not do to help this plan go into effect.
Another thing that you've talked about a lot about is broadband.
Oh yes, we definitely need broadband. I mean, I just heard the other day Somerset's talking about they're not even going to have snow days no more, because their snow days they're going to be able to work with broadband because they have it. They're going to be one of the few. They're going to be one of the first counties that have broadband fully implemented in their county. And of course, you know, Wicomico, we're way behind. And of course, with the grant money that came out, $240 million, we only ended up with $10 million. So one of the things I will have to do is I'm gonna get a grant writer, someone that can go out and get those funds that are still out there. Somebody can bring them back to the county so we can get this broadband going, because we definitely need it.
Now, tell me about your history. You were a Maryland State Trooper for many years. You've got your own businesses. Who is Ernie Davis?
Ernie Davis. I graduated Wicomico County Schools. I went to Warwick SU, and I did 20 years with Maryland State Police. I've run 2 businesses. One is Mid-Atlantic Power Wash and MAT Transportation. 30 years, started from ground zero, and I've been operating successful for 30 years. And that's part of my life. Well, that is my life, because, and then of course with serving, I got on to county council in 2014, been serving for 8 years, and I enjoyed serving, and I've been serving people for almost 30 years since I've been state police, 21 years old.
I would think that being a small businessman, you've got a perspective on life and the economy in the county that other people might not have.
Oh yeah, I went through 2008 when everything was down. I got trucks and buses, so I felt that recession and knew what it took to get out of the recession. I never filed bankruptcy. We fought it out, and we did some cutting in what we had to do to keep the businesses afloat. So I know what it takes, and with this economy now, people thinking that we're going through a recession, and me being on the council, I've seen the budget and how it operates. So I got a pretty good hold on what we need to do to stay afloat.
Something interesting about the District 1 seat that you've represented for 8 years. It's always seems like it's a swing vote on lots of issues. Like the vote, the final outcome comes down to this person. You can go all the way back to Ed Taylor and certainly Cherie. There'd be 3-3 or 2-2 when there was a 5-member council, and the District 1 person had all the pressure put on them. And that's actually happened to you in the last few years, where you've been the swing vote on some serious stuff.
Oh yeah, they put the pressure on, but I look at things as not Democrat or Republican. I look at issues as, what is it going to do for the county? What is it going to do to improve and better the county? And that's how I do my voting. I don't base it on some particular group that say we need you to vote this way. No, I vote the way it's going to affect everybody in the county, and it's going to improve the county.
And and I just think that your position ends up being the one that's articulated the most, because the other people sort of stake their bounds. Then Ernie comes in at the end and declares what's going to happen and has to voice his reasoning for this. And that just seems like you've got to know the issue even better.
Yeah, that's true. Because as they say, I don't say much, and which I don't. Because I mean, some of the issues you don't have to sit there and go on and on and on and on about it. If you know what you understand the issue and know how you're going to vote, you just wait till it's time to vote, and you vote and tell them how you feel.
Yeah, we had the county executive forum, and they tried to get you on that. They said, you don't say a lot in meetings. How are you going to be the county executive? And you kind of flared up a little bit on that one.
Yeah, it's kind of got ruffled my feathers because it seemed like I was kind of stupid. But I mean, you don't have to talk a lot. I mean, do what you got to do and tell people what you're going to do, and that's it. I mean, you don't have to argue with people. I mean, that's wasted energy. You're going to sit there and spend an hour arguing about something when you could have been taking that energy and doing what you're supposed to do to solve the problem.
There's been a lot of stress on this schools issue. You see parents coming to the school board meetings. There's a lot of battles. They feel like they're not being heard. They call on the county council and the county executive to do more. How does that process work? How will you work with the schools?
Well, what some people fail to realize, we can't control the school or the school board itself. I mean, matter of fact, they're coming in next meeting. We have quarterly meetings with their school and the school board, and we can advise them. And it seemed like over the past years or so that they've been more receptive to how we feel in the public. I think with the new superintendent, I think you'll see a turnaround in how things are going to be handled at the school boards.
But do you want more involvement, or you just want communication? You want a mentor? How do you want to do that?
I'm gonna be more involved with them. One of my main things is, if you look at what we pay per pupil to school, I mean, we pay like $3,300 per student. I mean, we're second lowest in the state, and I think it's Calvert County or Kent, one of those counties. They have the same amount of kids that go to their schools that we have, and they're paying $5,800 per student. I like to see that increase so we can get more money into the schools to help the school system itself as far as the teacher's salary, because 2025 it's mandated that we have to increase the salary for the teachers, and I don't see waiting until 2025 to make a mad rush for it. I think that should be a gradual step, especially when you know ahead of time that this has to happen, so it's not a big burden on the county all at once.
Of the three people running for county executive, you're the only one who has said that maybe we need to look at our revenue cap.
Yes, because it's not that it's bad, good or bad. I think we just need to look at it overall. I mean, it's been in place for several years and nothing has been done to it. Not saying I need to get rid of it or keep it, but we need to get some people together to look at this thing and see what it's going, how it can be improved or better the county. Because right now we rely on this disparity grant from the state, and at any given time the state can say, we're not going to give you that disparity grant, and then we'll be left holding the bag. I mean, it's like, was it $10 million they give us for that? So
right.
That'd be $10 million that we'll be scrounging looking for. Not saying that it will happen, but we need to be prepared just in case it does happen.
Right. And when I look at finances, I see all these needs that we keep identifying. The idea that we might want to pay EMS and firefighters, countywide, or give them some sort of a tax deduction. We want to spend more on schools. Can we get that? Can we get that money through better efficiencies in government, or will we have to look at tax structure?
Well, better efficiency, that's always a good thing. But unlike most of these counties, there's grant monies out there for this stuff. And like I said, go and hire a grant writer. And that's going to help. I mean, you look at the sheriff's department, there's a lot of departments within the county right now that comes to us on a regular basis with grants that they found to help their departments. And that's what this grant writer would do. With the fire and EMS, there's plenty of money out there to help to improve the fire company. I mean, we got a good set of volunteers in this county. We've been blessed because we don't really fund them the way we should. I mean, we're probably the only ones that don't fund the EMS program, and we need to, because they need to be fully staffed 24/7, because it's not fun at 2 o'clock in the morning. You call for a fire company and they don't have a paramedic to work, and you got to wait for somebody to come on. That's not a good feeling. So I feel that's a real need that we really, really need to address.
You're out there right now running for election. You're engaging voters. What are they telling you? What's on their minds in the county?
Well, basically the schools, and basically what we're asking for, the broadband, and of course with the water and sewer. I mean, right now your septic can go up at any given time, and with this health department, you don't know if they're going to give you a permit to put in one, or they're going to say, well, you have to put up this tank in your backyard or one of these mound systems, and you know the cost of them could be up to $20,000. So those are things they see what's happening in and around the county, and they know what's out there. So they're talking the same game that we all of us are talking about.
Your theme, your motto is you want to jumpstart Wicomico. One of your opponents kind of made fun of that thing. Explain what you mean when you say jumpstart.
I say jumpstart because if you look at the county for the last 8 so years, it's been stagnant. There's no growth has happened in the county. I mean, yes, we're working on things, but we need to get these things going. And I figure with growth, we got the airport sitting out there. Once we get that going, we're going to attract business. We get the airport going. We get water and sewer here, the broadband. We start advertising. And that's one of the things we got to do. We got to advertise. I mean, we don't tell the people, not only in the county, but out in the world, what Wicomico has to offer. I mean, we're the second largest airport. We got the second largest port. We don't advertise this to these people, so we could get these businesses to say, oh, they do have an airport. They do have railway running north and south. They do have 2 major highways going north and south, east and west. I mean, we got a good things here, but we got to start promoting it and telling people what we got so we can get these businesses to come here, so we can get that tax base from the businesses instead of having to tax the people. So we won't have tax base. We get the tax base here and we get people working, then you got the income tax. That's going to help the economy.
I know you have a really good relationship with Sharice Sample Hughes, who was your predecessor on the county council. Now she's the Speaker Pro Tem in the Maryland House of Delegates. Very important role, and it's going to be necessary, I think, that you guys communicate and help get us some state funding.
Oh yes, since I've been on the council, me and Sharice been in contact constantly, and even now I've been up to Annapolis with her. The Speaker of the House, I've had contact with her. She's also supporting me. The State Treasurer, Derek Davis, is supporting me. And I've been up there, got 2 county executives, PG County, Angela Alsobrooks. I've been up to her office, and she's 100% behind me. So yeah, I got a direct line right to Annapolis, and it's been there a while. It's not like it's something just happened. I've been to Annapolis, and they know who I am and how I feel and what I do.
All right, give us your 1-minute pitch. Why should the voters elect you as the next county executive, Ernie?
I feel that I'm the best qualified. I've been here for 8 years. I've seen what the county can and cannot do and what it's needed to take to get the economy going. And I have a good hold on it. I have a good hold with the people in the county. I've been here all my life, and I'm not going anywhere. And I want what's best for Wicomico County.
He's Ernest Davis. He's running for county executive as a Democrat in Wicomico County. He's on the county council now. He's the vice president there, and we're thrilled that he had time to be with us here today. Thank you, Ernie.
Thank you.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. Be sure and watch all of our candidate interviews on the PAC 14 YouTube page.